Episode 17, Men vs. Women.
So, the differences between men and women. This is a topic that's been studied, debated, and joked about for centuries. And as someone who's been around for quite a while, let me tell you, I've seen some pretty interesting differences. For starters, let's talk about communication. Men and women communicate differently. Women tend to be more verbal, while men tend to be more visual. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never met a man who can't communicate with a picture of a sandwich. And speaking of food, have you ever noticed how differently men and women eat? Women tend to be more careful and dainty, taking small bites and using utensils. Men, on the other hand, tend to attack their food like it's a wild animal they just caught. It's like they're afraid someone's going to take it away from them. But it's not just about communication and eating habits. Let's talk about fashion. Women have an entire industry dedicated to fashion, with endless options for clothing, shoes, and accessories. Men, on the other hand, have about 3 styles to choose from: casual, formal, and I don't care. And don't even get me started on the bathroom. Women's bathrooms are like a sanctuary, with flowers, scented candles, and pictures of kittens. Men's bathrooms, on the other hand, are like a war zone. It's every man for himself in there. But despite all these differences, men and women still manage to coexist, most of the time. And that's because we complement each other. Men bring strength and stability, while women bring grace and beauty. It's like we're 2 puzzle pieces that fit perfectly together. So, in conclusion, men and women may be different, but that's what makes life interesting. And hey, if we were all the same, who would we make fun of? The age-old topic of the differences between men and women. I think we can all agree that men and women are different in many ways, but it's the little differences that really stand out. For example, men and women have different priorities when it comes to going to the bathroom. Women go to the bathroom in groups and spend hours in there fixing their hair and makeup, while men treat the bathroom like a pit stop on a racetrack. They're in and out so fast you'd think they were competing for the world record. And speaking of grooming, have you ever noticed that women have an entire aisle at the drugstore dedicated to beauty products, while men get one measly shelf with some shaving cream and a razor? It's like the beauty industry is telling men, hey, you're already handsome. You don't need to put any effort into your appearance. But let's be real, men and women both have their quirks. For example, men can fix a car or build a house, but they can't find the mustard in the fridge if it's right in front of them. Women, on the other hand, can find anything in a messy handbag, but they can't parallel park to save their lives. And don't even get me started on communication. Men are like closed books, they'll tell you everything is fine even if they're on fire, while women will tell you their life story in the first 5 minutes of meeting you. It's like we're speaking different languages sometimes. But you know what they say, opposites attract. And it's those little differences that keep things interesting. So, let's embrace the differences between men and women and celebrate the unique qualities that make us who we are. The age-old topic of the differences between men and women. It's a topic that's been debated for centuries, and I'm here to settle it once and for all. Are you ready? Let's start with communication. Men and women communicate differently. For example, when a man says I'm fine, he really means it. But when a woman says I'm fine, she means that the man better start guessing what's wrong or else. It's like a game of 20 questions, but with your emotions. And then there's shopping. When a man goes shopping, he goes in, gets what he needs, and gets out. But when a woman goes shopping, it's a full-blown expedition. It's like an episode of Survivor, with each store being a challenge to overcome. And the prize? A new pair of shoes. Now, let's talk about emotions. Men and women have very different emotional reactions. For example, when a man sees a spider, he'll probably just squish it and move on with his day. But when a woman sees a spider, she'll scream, call for backup, and then proceed to watch the spider until it's safely out of sight. And don't even get me started on the bathroom. Men can use the bathroom in 30 seconds flat. But women? We need to check our makeup, fix our hair, and make sure everything is in order before we can even think about leaving the bathroom. It's like a spa day in there. In all seriousness though, while men and women do have their differences, we can still find common ground and learn to appreciate each other's unique perspectives. And if all else fails, we can always bond over our love for food and bad puns. Thanks for listening, folks.
And that wraps up another laughter-filled episode of Not So Funny A. If you enjoyed the jokes generated by our AI algorithms, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our comedy-loving community.